Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Name, Gaura Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestaya Te.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda.
Haribol, everybody singing.
Paramahamsa Namine, Gaura Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestaya Te.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya.
Haribol, Chaitanya,
Shri
sing it.
Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya.
Bhajan Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Bhajan Shri Krishna Chaitanya,
Haribol, Nitai Gaur. Jai Jai Nitai Gaur. Haribol, Haribol.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Haribol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna.
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Haribol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna.
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol, Nitai Gaur. Jai Jai Nitai Gaur.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Haribol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna.
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Haribol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna.
Madana Mohana. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Everybody sing, chant, and loud, loud. Haribol, open your mouth.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Haribol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna.
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Everybody sing. Haribol.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama.
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama.
Krishna.
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol, Haribol.
Madana Mohana.
Krishna, Krishna, Haribol, Haribol.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama.
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama.
Krishna.
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol. Nitai Gaur, Haribol. Jai Gurudev. Haribol, Haribol. Krishna, Haribol, Haribol.
Madana Mohana.
Haribol. Gopala Govinda Rama.
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama.
Krishna.
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gauranga. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Haribol, Haribol.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga.
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada.
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada.
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda.
Krishna,
Ananda Paramahamsa.
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda.
Krishna.
Ananda Paramahamsa.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda. Paramahamsa Namune. Gora Karuna Swarupaya. Radha Krishna Prestayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda.
Jai Gurudev, Jai Jaya Srila Prabhupada.
Sanamine. Gaura Karuna Swarupaya. Radha Krishna Prestayate.
Nitai Gaur, Haribol, Haribol. Jai Gurudev, Haribol, Haribol. So I read here our situation based upon the absolute truth. Okay, based upon the words of Lord Krishna, our spiritual master, and it is about our situation and how we can be moving forward towards a world that is eternal and transcendental. The great sage Narada continued, the living entity acts in a gross body in this life. This body is forced to act by the subtle body composed of the mind, intelligence, and ego. After the gross body is lost, the subtle body is still there to enjoy or suffer. Thus, there is no change. So, until and unless we are liberated from material desires, we are able to redirect the mind, okay, towards a world that is transcendental, connected with the pleasure of the Supreme Person, okay, based upon the teachings of our spiritual master and the process of purification, the sound incarnation of God. Okay, it purifies us from false bodily identification. Okay? That's very important. Okay? Everything na nakikita nyo rito sa mundo na to, with your eyes, are all temporary. It does not exist in the spiritual world. Varnashram system does not exist in the spiritual world. Okay? It's just the arrangement here in this material world. So, the living entity us, we've been here for so long, and here we're given the opportunity to see how we got entangled in this world. Okay? The activities we do and we did in the past, when we leave this body, still the subtle body covers the spirit soul. And the desires are there. Okay? That's why you have this body now. So even though you try to get out of the body, okay, this gross body, until and unless we're free from material desires, from the subtle body, it must be a transcendental consciousness of the living entity wherein his life is connected in harmony with the pleasure of the Supreme Person, doing his will. So that's the only way we can stop birth, death, to be in this material world. Okay, I'll read to you here, and I like to reiterate something, that the reason we have been conditioned in this world is because how we use our senses, how we use the mind, our gross senses, okay, our activities we do. So it's stated in Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna, whatever state of mind one remembers at the time of death, that state he will attain. Meaning, when the living entity, kayo, lahat tayo, when we leave this body, what consciousness you do have will determine your future. Okay? But if the mind is spiritualized, because it's now purified, redirected by the sound incarnation of the Supreme Person, the holy names, and then the living entity, us, has no more material desires, meaning our desire now is to be doing what is pleasing to God, to be in harmony with God. So you don't need to take another material body. Until and unless we become liberated from material desires and engage in our true transcendental nature and activities, which is doing the will of God, pleasing Him, then when we leave this world, what is very dear to you, what is very so much you're attached with, your concentration, your meditation, our meditation will determine what will be our life. Okay? We don't talk about future because future is in this material world. We're eternal. Okay? So if you are still planning for your future to experience all the desire in the mind, at the time of death, that's what you remember. Meaning, the activities you're doing, what your meditation is, where your interest is. You know what's interest? Your likes, your dislikes. Okay? Like for example, I'll tell you something. You know there's a war in Lebanon now? You know, it's a fight between the Israeli and who's the other side? The Palestinian, okay? Palestinian, okay? Israel and the Palestinian. You were not taught history, okay? Because most of the time you're just in your cell phone, you know, in this ejute box, okay? You know what's ejute box? Everybody is so much immersed in that ejute box, you know. Their minds, they're always ogling, googling, trying to figure out where they can find happiness and shelter. Okay? That's why everybody's holding a cell phone. You pass by there, everybody's holding a cell phone. The mama, the son, the daughter, you know, they're there. And then when they communicate, even the one they're communicating is in front of them. They can speak. Mama, what's that? They still have to text, you know. They have to PM, you know. That the person whom they're talking is in front. Yeah, that's stupid. Okay? So what your meditation is, for example, there's a war there. The Palestinian, there's always angry at the Jews, the other side. Okay? The people in Israel. It's like the people of Israel, and because they were previously, their ancestors were slaves by the Pharaoh. You know what's the Pharaoh? In Egypt, the king. So they were led to go to supposedly the promised land, and the promised land is what the country now, Israel. So they think they are Jews, it is the promised land given to them, okay? And the other guys who were, the people who were living there were driven out. Like for example, all the people in Israel, it's not Israel before, okay? It's Palestine, okay? They just gave it a new name. All the people there were driven out. And then the Jews came from different countries. Jews, but you know what's a Jew? It's the race, the belief that they are the chosen ones, okay? So there's a fight now. They're trying to protect their, supposedly the Holy Land in their place, okay? That it belongs to them, God-given. And the other guy, those individuals who were driven out of that place, they are what? They are so angry, and they're there throwing bombs, firing rockets to the other side. And the Jews also, they're trying to protect their God-chosen land that they think that belongs to them, okay? So they have to fence it. The fence is not like what you see here. It's so high, the stone, nobody can go to their place, the other side. So their meditation is this: these Jews are aggressor. They took our land, okay? So they're always thinking, how can we get the land? And they're so angry at the Jews, okay? And the Jews also, who are in the body of a Jew, G-E-W, okay? They think we're the chosen, the race, okay? And also their idea of faith, religion, okay? They're trying to protect their turf. You know what's turf? Their area. So they're always thinking, fighting with one another, looking at the Jews. They're looking, and the Palestinians are also looking at the Jews. I'm gonna kill you someday. I'm gonna kill you someday. So they get killed. So they're born now in the family of the Jews because they're thinking of the Jews. Okay. So the Jews also, they're thinking, I'm gonna kill you if you come here. Then they get killed. No, blown by the rocket. Then they take birth on the other side. Okay. You see, before, this person is in a body of a Jew, thinking of the Palestinian, he got killed. Then he goes to that country, being born there as a Palestine against the Jews. The Palestinian always thinking about the Jew. These are the Jews, they took our land, they put us in poverty, they made us miserable. Every day their meditation, we are oppressed. Then they get killed. They're born in the body of in that country. Now they're fighting again with one another. Okay? And understood? So Lord Krishna tells us in Bhagavad Gita, whatever state of mind one remembers at the time of death, that state you will attain. So a certain activity leads to a certain consciousness. So the reason we are in this material world, because of our activities. We are so much engrossed. What is engrossed? We think we're the body, we think we're the senses, we follow the desire in the mind, then that's why we're here. Okay? So this place is the cause of suffering. And we have identified ourselves as this body, so definitely we cannot run away from suffering because we have identified ourselves with the cause of suffering. I'm going to die. I'm sick. My legs will be cut off. I'd rather die. Understand? Is it clear sa inyo? But that doesn't mean you don't have to protect and take care of your body. Okay? But you must be with wisdom, okay? That the body that you, all of us have here, with this intelligence, capability to inquire, why am I here? Where am I going? What will I do with my life? So now you have this decision making when you come in contact with this wisdom because you're able to see now who you are. Understand clearly, liberated. What is liberation? Freedom from material desire because of the process of the hearing and chanting. God Himself connecting us with Him by the sound coming from His confidential friend. Then we establish our relationship with Lord Krishna by following His confidential friend. And if Krishna sees that, He's very pleased and we make progress in our spiritual life. That's it. You know, that's why when we come in contact with the spiritual master and we neglect, we're not grateful, we don't make a close relationship. What is a close relationship? Meaning you do follow His will. Okay? You're not interested because we have our own will. What we want, okay? Even though we chant, but still we want our world, okay? The spiritual master is just is simply a means that I can do my own will, okay? Because I'm forced to follow the dictates of my mind, guided now by force by the three modes of material nature. So how can you become free when material nature is very powerful, okay? The only way we can become free is when we take shelter of the lotus feet of the spiritual master, who is transcendental to the three modes of material nature. And the spiritual master has the ability to control the mind, to direct the mind. Okay? And the reason he gives us this science, so we can also be directing the mind. Okay? The urge of the mind. You know what's the urge of the mind? To follow the desire. The desires are there. Because Maya, illusion, the three modes, according to the influence of the three modes of material nature, you have a certain likes and dislikes in this world. Okay? You don't want people to be around you. You hate, you dislike, you like, These are all temporary. These are all mind conditioning. When the living entity identifies himself with this gross body and follow the dictates of the mind. Okay? Is it clear sa inyo? So while you're here in this world, it's a struggle because the body is under the laws of material nature. It comes to, when the spirit soul is in the body, it grows. It stays the body stays for sometimes, But when we speak about the spirit soul stay in the body for some time, that is about to be born, to grow old, to experience disease and death. The spirit soul passes from one body to another. A child body, a young girl's body, a young lady's body, a middle-aged body, a senior citizen. So you can look. And when the person is conditioned in this material world, for example, you're in the body of a child, you just like to play and play. And if you come to this world and your association is based upon just your happiness, and you don't know anything about the goal of life, so definitely your world is it revolves around you. You know what it revolves around you? It revolves meaning whatever will give you happiness, you like it. Whatever you think that will give you pain, you dislike it. Okay? But what can you do? You have karma. Okay? You know what's karma? And we have been engaging in so many activities previously. We did activities that there are fruits that are fructifying now. Okay? Like for example, you got a wound. Yeah? You're wondering, how come I got a wound? Because of previously, the fruits now fructify. Ibig sabihin, your sinful activities, you're tasting it now. In the form of disease, in the form of wound, in the form of something being taken away from you. And it's about the miserable world, which we identify. So the point here is we identify with this miserable world because we think we're the body. Then definitely we embrace. You cannot separate suffering from everyday experience because you identify with the source of suffering. Diba? You've been working there up in the farm You're trying to cut the grass, and it's hard just to bring the plants there, You have to force the body. But because you understand you're not the body don't want to do it, It's hassle, it's a struggle, But you force the body, okay? That's a good discipline, okay? That's why brahmachari should be engaging in austerity, discipline. Okay? Work. Because you have so much energy. If you don't use that energy in the service of Krishna, you'll be very passionate. You'll be forced by the three modes of material nature, especially passion. What will you do with that energy, okay? And there's a saying, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. So when you are not engaged in the service of Krishna, then the mind, all the desires are there. And do this, do that, enjoy this, enjoy this. And you identify with the body and the mind and the desire. And you what? You want to taste the fruits, okay? Now you get entangled in this world. You're imprisoned in this world. No matter what you think, okay? So, relatively speaking, so many supposedly in this world, what we think as great people, people who are really who are famous, how they pass away their lives because they follow the dictates of their mind, their senses. They cannot stop smoking. And the effect of smoking is that you destroy your lungs, because it's toxic. You know what? It destroys your body, okay? Your systems get what they call short-circuited, That's why those who are chain smoker, the nicotine destroys your body, okay? That's why they have cancer of the tongue, cancer of the colon, cancer of the lips, diabetes, tuberculosis, When my god brother, his father is a doctor, but he's a chain smoker. So at the time the sepsis, you know what sepsis? When your lungs is so destroyed with nicotine, it gets harder and harder, It's so dirty, and supposedly the lungs should be malleable, So, but when you smoke, it becomes hard and hard and hard. That's why they have a hard time breathing. Kasi it's like a bellow. You know what's a bellow? Di ba yung bellow when they make bolos, they step, di ba? Air comes out, di ba? What if it's so hard? It's metal. Pag gano mo, hindi gumagalaw. No air comes out, okay? So what happened is because of smoking, they destroy their lungs, okay? And they have cancer, and they die a very painful, horrible death. Because the living entity, when you destroy this machine, this body, God-given gift that you can use to go back to the world that is in harmony with God using this material energy, what you did was you destroyed the body, okay? Because you're trying to find happiness through the senses. And you're so empty, you're so stressed, you need to smoke. People smoke. And what is smoke all about? It's air. And you want to fill up something in your heart. So when the nicotine passes, you become addicted to nicotine. Cigarette actually is a drug. People are addicted, all those chain smokers, they're addicted to nicotine, like alcohol, like any drugs. So what happened? This person, his father, who is a doctor, he's been smoking for so long, and then time came that he has to leave his body. But it took some time, A month, he's in ICU, having hard time breathing, because the lungs is already so hard, Imagine. And you identify with the body. If you experience drowning, who here experienced drowning? Okay, you go, some of you here, you dove there inside the drum, di ba? What if you dove there, then somebody will hold your head? What will you experience? You search out for air, di ba? Understand? So, is it clear sa inyo? So if you engage in so much in a process wherein you destroy your body through smoking, because actually it's an unlimited search for happiness, and the craving is directed towards this activity of smoking. You're trying to fill up something in your heart. Okay, that's why you smoke. But it's never filled. Why? Because the moment the cigarette gets burned, you light another one. You light another one. You light another one. Light another one. That even though the time you're sleeping, you're holding a cigarette. No? So what happened to this father? His lungs is destroyed, and then he died miserably. He had a hard time breathing, like a person who's drowning. You know COVID-19? They use respirator because the virus destroy your what? That's different because the virus destroy the cells in your lungs, okay? And what happened? Your lungs get flooded with water because it gets inflamed, and water comes out. Instead, the air cannot enter, and there's so much water, you have a hard time. Okay? The chain smoker, his lungs is so hard, okay? It's destroyed, and the cancer is there already, okay? The cancer virus, it's so hard, and it destroys his body. So he died miserably. So that's the point I'm trying to tell you. Because we identify with the body, and we are being advised here why we are suffering. Because you identify with the body. Okay? Like now, if, not only that, if you're a smoker, there will be nicotine in your teeth, in the bones, okay? So why is that? Why do we become irresponsible? Why do we lose our intelligence? Okay? When we are blinded by lust, which is situated in the mind, we try to find happiness, fulfillment, security in this material world. That's why we are here. Okay? So I'll read here again, so to remind us. And how we can get out, okay? So Krishna is always there waiting for us, you know? The great sage Narada continued, the living entity acts. Page 339 talks between Narada Muni and King Prasinabarhi, okay? The great sage Narada continued, the living entity acts in a gross body in this life. A gross body, the activities of the body. The body is forced to act by the subtle body. How does it act? In your mind, you want to eat something, okay? You're passing by, walking, okay? You're walking, you're passing by, you're walking, you smell, flesh being burned. Barbecue. You smell the barbecue. And it's about, tinai sa manok, okay? Bituka sa manok. Pako sa manok. You smell it. Then what do? You identify with the body. You bring your blind legs, your hand, go there, walk, because in the mind, the subtle, and then you eat the bituka na manok. Okay? And the paku, and the legs, and the Adidas, you suck it. Okay? Okay? And then not only that, there's the chicken liver. You know what's chicken liver? Yeah. And the blood, di ba? It gets hard. They cut it, and then barbecue. Then there's garlic, vinegar, chilies. Then your tongue is in the mind. Oh, it's so delicious. Saliva's dripping. Then when you go there, the other people also are looking, and their saliva's dripping, drops on the sauce, and then you okay?
Share one sausaw.
Lahat sausawan, okay? Lahat ng Why toothbrush, puro laway. Ah! So, but not only that, you go in Manila, they have a different delicacy there. You pass by, they call it one day chicken sa egg. They fry it, not balut, one day. Huh? And then everybody standing there. Okay? Okay, anyway. The body is forced to act by the subtle body composed of the mind, meaning the conditioning, And Maya gives the impetus. Wow, do you remember when you're drinking the dog's blood? Okay. Eating the chorizo, And then you're, wow, lami na, laway tulo. Okay? Ow, 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 ow. Ha? After the gross body is lost, the subtle body is still there to enjoy or suffer. Okay? Thus, there is no change. You still continue on and on and on. So this is what Krishna tells us, okay? I'm seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Okay? So, remember the pastimes of Lord Krishna? When the wives of the Mohana met him, their mind, their whole life simply glides towards doing what is pleasing to Krishna, giving Krishna everything, forgetting about everything that their situation in, the husband, the children, the sacrifice, just Krishna needs food. Okay? And because they're thinking always of Krishna, it gives them so much happiness within their heart and simply doing the will of God. Okay? So they went to the forest bringing all the food. But the Brahmanas, Smarta Brahmanas, they're not interested. Okay? Why are they not interested? Because they have material consideration. Okay? They want to go to the heavenly planet. Thus, even though you're in front of Krishna, you cannot see. Not only that, the devotees of Lord Krishna, the spiritual master, all those children, are all saintly person. Okay? You're not there. They're not able to appreciate that Krishna comes to them. They're not able to open their door. So you understand? That's why we chant every day to purify the mind and the heart. So we have this amiable, this natural tendency of the spirit soul to search for joy that is transcendental, that when we become purified, our taste for following the desires in the mind subsides. Not only that, our attraction to this world becomes lessen and lessen. Maya, we begin to see Maya, okay? Just like, for example, you're in a boy's body, okay? You're in the boy's body, okay? So, material nature arranged it in such a way that there's progeny. What is progeny? Production of children. Okay? Two-person, individual spirit, they get married, okay? And have children. That is based upon attraction. What is that attraction? I am a man, she's a woman, okay? And then they identify themselves with what? With their senses, okay? But when you make progress in spiritual life, you're able to see the spirit soul. You're able to see the person, okay? But it's not enough to understand you're not the body. Understanding you're not the body will not protect you from not following the goal or the quest to find happiness. We must be engaging in activities, and those activities is about serving God, devotion, loving devotion. Or else, you're not the body, But still, because the desires are there in the mind, because that not necessarily mean that the devotee, if you're a devotee of Krishna, you're in this body, it doesn't mean you don't have any more desires. You can watch the desire, but it's not important anymore. What is important is your heart's desire, your life to serve, to do the will of God. So it's irrelevant to you. Maya is set aside. The desire is set aside because you experience a higher taste. And that higher taste is what we're longing for. What are we longing for? Satisfaction. And what is satisfaction all about? It is pleasing God. Okay? Doing His will, having a relationship that is eternal and transcendental. That is a devotee of God. Not joining a group, not the community. You know? I was with a community of devotees and they're all fighting and quarreling. There's no love there, you know. That's why I don't think this is working. No. Intindihan niyo? It's not working because of one's contamination. You're not following the instruction of the spiritual master. You're not receiving and following the process. Okay? The spiritual master tells you, okay, walk straight. There's the door, and the door goes to Krishna. But that you're not really convinced, okay? You follow the mind. You're still contaminated with, you're not liberated, okay? You're still selfish. What is selfish? It's all about you. Krishna is just a means so you can enjoy life. You're still the center of the universe. So the problem here that we face is we think we are the Lord of all what we survey. We are the Lord of this universe, okay? And now it comes to the point wherein you think you're the king of your kingdom to enjoy. Then you suffer in this world. Is it clear sa inyo? So now when kung kayo, you experience yung pain sa world na to is just temporary. Because when you leave this body, it's gone. But if we continue to follow the desire in the mind, then there is a continuity of having again another material body. So Krishna tells us, whatever state of mind one remembers at the time of death, that state he will attain. It's absolute. Whatever, because where your heart is, that's where your mind will go. Okay. You look at all the great Vaishnavas, the devotees, the wives of the Brahmana, they're always thinking of Krishna. Look at, you study the life of how Jada Bharat, Maharaj Bharata, how he, in meditation of Krishna, he got defocused. Alam niyo paano siya na-defocus? Because he got attached to the deer. Okay? He got attached to the deer. So, at the time that he's leaving the body, he stopped meditating upon Lord Vishnu. He simply focused upon his heart, his mind upon that deer. So, he came back in the body of a deer. But through Krishna's mercy, he can remember his past. Okay, he can remember. This is God's transcendental mercy upon him and also to us. That if we meditate on something that is not connected with the transcendental, eternal pastimes of the Lord, which is pure devotional service, the activities of the devotees in loving service, then your mind will be materially engaged by Maya, because your action will determine your consciousness. Okay, what you eat, what you see. But because we are given the process of purification, the hearing, the chanting, the remembering, the praying, that no matter our situation is, we do feel in our heart, yes, it's hard to get out of this world, but because Krishna wants me to go back home to Him, He wants me to love Him, then let Krishna be the driver of your life. Intindihan niyo? So, all you got to do, all what we have to do is follow the instruction of Lord Krishna. Okay? Krishna's instruction is eternal. And it's about the relationship we should be engaging in pure devotional service. So I'll read again yung ano dito. I'm seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So a certain activity leads to a certain consciousness. So this enjoyer mentality, you must be in illusion. Okay? You must be in illusion. Who gives you forgetfulness? Krishna. Because if you're aware, will you eat shit? Okay? If you're not a maggot. Okay? If you're not a dog, don't have this consciousness of a dog. As a human being, will you eat shit? No, di ba? But if you're in the consciousness of a dog, and you live like a dog, you'll eat shit. Tindihan nyo? Because the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Super Soul is always guiding the individual soul, the individual soul always knows how to act according to the reaction of his past karma. In other words, the Super Soul reminds him to act in such a way. Therefore, although there is apparently a change in the gross body, there is continuation between the lives of the individual soul. Okay? So it tells us, whatever your desire is, Krishna gives you forgetfulness or remembrance. So Krishna tells us, to those who are constantly devoted unto me, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. Okay? He gives remembrance, He gives forgetfulness. Because Lord Krishna respects us. You want to enjoy? Okay? You want to act like, for example, you have this human body, okay? What do the wolves eat? What do the wolves eat? What do the dogs eat? Anong kinakain nila? Flesh, di ba? Because they have pangs, di ba? Okay? You have pangs, di ba? Namang bangkil. Pero due to conditioning before, what do you eat? Di ba? Meat, di ba? But now you begin to understand, no, it's not. If you are vegetarian, for so long and you're engaging in the process of bhakti yoga, you won't love rotten, smell like the blood. Okay? The carcass, alam yung carcass? You go to a meat shop, you feel uneasy. But those people there in the mode of ignorance, wow, so nice, I can eat this drumstick, okay, the chicken's leg, okay? I can eat this chest of the chicken, the head of the chicken, okay? They call it ribs. I'm gonna eat the ribs, like, the abs you have. And they like it, And they cook yung meat, 1 inch, half cooked, there's still blood. Huh? So a certain activity leads to a certain consciousness. So attachment to this world, attachment to this body, even though we leave this body, will continue existing because the living entity is eternal. So the consciousness you have will determine what body you will have. If you live like a wolf, then, okay? If you don't live like a human being, what is a human being? Who uses his intelligence. You don't need the intelligence. To eat meat, you don't need that intelligence anymore. You just eat meat, engage in animal life, eating, sleeping, mating, depending. You don't use this higher intelligence and this body to connect yourself with God. You're not interested. Okay? You just sleep and sleep and sleep. So what happens is that you're born like in a family of the crocodile, the wolf, the bird, kasi you like to sleep every day. The more you sleep, the more you like to sleep. You try to sleep. Sleep now. Like, we have this bad habit here that we're given, that we did have when the Spaniards came. They called it siesta. You know what siesta? That after eating, you sleep for 2 hours again. Okay? And it's been a habit, And the more you sleep, you try to sleep after eating, what will happen? When you wake up, can you stand immediately? You have this experience of, robbery experience, headache, body ache, it's hard, And then just go to sleep na lang, forget everything. Okay? But because material nature is very mean, Maya is very mean, you have to struggle to maintain your body, the field of activity. And if you, the person, your source of happiness and security is his body, then you have to work hard. Okay? Just to maintain the body. So the reason you maintain the body is so you can use it in Krishna service. You eat so you can use the body to serve Krishna, not eat to live. Okay? The animals, they eat to live. Eat and eat and eat and eat. Okay? Sleep and sleep and sleep. Okay? And they develop an animal consciousness. So now the question is, you're in the body of a human being, you check yourselves. Are you gliding to that animal world where your activities are just simply eating, sleeping, mating, and depending? Not only that, you can check your mind. Are you so lusty, so angry, frustrated? You can check what burden you're carrying. And then you ask yourself why you're here. Okay? So Krishna gives us this opportunity to hear about the transcendental pastimes of the devotees. Krishna's relationship with the devotees in Vrindavan, and I'll read that tomorrow, okay? In Vrindavan, wherein when you hear the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna, it gives fulfillment to the heart. It's about the eternal world of a relationship that is transcendental to this mundane relationship that we experience here. So when you ask this question, what if you become a devotee and you still come back here? Don't speculate about that, okay? Because Krishna's promise, my devotee never perishes. Okay? Declare it boldly to the world. My devotee, never perishes. Where there's Krishna and Arjuna, there is victory. So don't ever try to use your mind, if I become a devotee, will I make a decision again to come back here, But if you really understand this science, it's an eternal science wherein we come in contact with our spiritual master, who is transcendental to the three modes of material nature, who has no material consideration. And what is a spiritual master? A spiritual master he can control the urge of the mind. You know the urge of the mind? The thinking, the feeling, the willing, and you act with your body. The spiritual master is transcendental to that. He can control the urge of the mind. Now the question why he teaches you this science, that you're not the body, you're not the mind. So when you follow this process wherein you are able to chant and become purified, you realize that you're not the body, you're not the mind. Because the mind, the desire in the mind are temporary. You're not the desire in the mind. You always say, I changed my mind. Okay? If you change your mind, who's changing the mind? Who's watching the mind? Who says, the mind will tell you, do this. No. Okay? It's like watching television. Okay? Okay, for example, you're in this era now, you're watching YouTube, and then there's this advertisement, okay? And then, not good, then there's a skip. What do? Skip. Okay? Understand? So you can say no to your mind, but it's very hard when you're conditioned. When we are conditioned by the three modes of material. Because you think, I am a woman, I am a man. We're all alien, not this body. You don't belong to this world. But because you think, I'm not a man, I'm not a woman, I'm a transgender. Okay? My blood is green. Understand? Kita niyo yan? So material conditioning, you lose your intelligence. Okay? You identify with shit. You like to live and model with the maggots, Ano yung maggots? So that's when we come in contact with the spiritual master, he has these transcendental qualities. And he loves Krishna. And that's the thing there. That's the point there. Because of his influence, because he's completely surrendered with pure unalloyed devotional service. He's not different from Krishna, God the servant. And we follow him. We experience this servitude attitude by following his instruction. And then we cling to that wherever we are. Because, for example, the spiritual master tells you, chant the holy names, follow the regulated principle, just focus upon this teaching. The spiritual master will give you just even an instruction, one paragraph. Chant the holy names and give the holy names to the people in general. Follow this regulation. You do that, okay? You may never see him again. You may never see him again physically, but you're still with him. You see him every day. Just like the gopis in Vrindavan. When Lord Krishna left Vrindavan, he went to Dwarka to do something, to kill all those demons, to protect the devotees there. He never left Vrindavan because all the residents of Vrindavan, they're in pure transcendental meditation in their loving relationship with Krishna. No material consideration, simply loving Krishna. So Krishna never left Vrindavan, never left their heart. But when Krishna left, their attachment becomes so strong. Okay? Tayo rito, hindi ganun. Okay? You get conditioned to this cell phone, you know. And if the cell phone, ni Chalila does say, okay, no cell phone. Okay? You're always thinking, my cell phone, I'm lonely. I can PM with my friends, I can blog, you know. That is our meditation, you know. Okay? So you can check. So spiritual life is real, okay? It's a transcendental experience that when one make progress, it becomes his life. So the point here is to become free from this self-centeredness. God's will be done. And when you say God's will, you enter that world wherein you engage in loving service and experiencing this humbleness to be protected, to taking shelter of Krishna. Krishna, please protect me. I have no other friend. You're my eternal friend. So everybody leaves, everybody dies. Your papa, your mama, you're alone. But you have Krishna. And everybody, every spirit soul is connected with Krishna. Okay? Is it clear sa inyo? You have any question? So that's why, while you're in this body, that's why in the Christian teaching, it's better to be out of the body and with the Lord than to be in the body and away from the Lord. But in either case, to be in the body or out of the body, we should always be engaging in loving service, in devotional service. Okay? While we are in this world, we live that world of devotion, focus in loving service. Yeah? Then what will happen is when we leave this world, because we're in the world of connected with this, in harmony with serving Krishna, then at the time we're leaving this world, we'll be taking shelter of Krishna. That's the test. Okay? What your attachment. It's not I'm leaving, you know, where's my cell phone, you know? Hindi na ganon. Okay? Mama, tabang. No. You know you're leaving this body, you're leaving the shirt. Okay? Because you were taught whom you'll save. Do you save the shirt or the person? Okay? So when you have this wisdom, understanding, then you can help your papa, your mama, all the individuals you love, provided they, okay, take this process. And because we become so dear to Krishna, when we are in love, our heart is simply pleasing His loving servant, then we become very pleasing to Lord Krishna. He takes notice because when we appreciate that we offer in devotion to His loving servant, Krishna is pleased. Okay? We enter that world, this family, all the devotees serving Krishna. Is it clear sa inyo? So let's chant Haribol. Everybody sing and dance, okay?
Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namine, Siddhaswarupananda, Radha Krishna Krsna Yante. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Lord Chaitanya.
Krishna Chaitanya, Haribol, Haribol, Haribol.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Chaitanya.
Bhajan Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shivasade Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Bhajan Shri Krishna Chaitanya,
Haribol, Nitai Gaur, Haribol.
Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shivasade Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hari Bol Krishna, Hari Bol Krishna, Hari Bol Krishna, Gopala Gopala.
Haribol, Haribol, everybody sing now.